Yeah, the nickname Quicksilver came about from only one man. They called him Ernest Okonkwo, a commentator, radio commentator during the game. He was fun. He gave us different names. He gave me Quicksilver. And through, I was quick with the ball. Quick with the ball. He gave mathematical Odebami. Christian Chukwuchiama, Okpala OAU. The later I saw she was a blockbuster. Mundalawa, midfield master. And so on. He nicknamed me Quicksilver. That was how the name came about. By Ernest Okonkwo. I am Onitsha brought up. I'm Onitsha brought up. And when we were growing up, we don't have such things in Onitsha. Especially those who, during my age, that grew up. They don't have kakos or gangs. No. We mix up with everybody. That's how we are doing. We mix up. And we mix up with everybody. We don't have special somebody. If we are going for the training, if we want to crack jokes, we crack jokes generally. If we want to do anything, we do things. You know, I don't have. But I have my roommate, the late Sima. The late Sima. Now he's Onitsha boy too. He brought up in Onitsha, so we knew each other from Onitsha, even before we met in Rangers and Super Eagles. No, the chances of Nigeria is that when Nigeria is going to the Nations Cup, we are going to the Nations Cup to win. Nothing short of that. Whether we have the players, yes, we have the players. Whether we have talented players to do, yes, we have talented players. Whether they are very good players, yes. Whether they are playing in their various clubs as a first team players, yes. Even in 1994, some of the players were playing in second division. Some, one or two, don't have club. Some of them are not even first team players in their team. But this one now, we have players playing in their various clubs. Good, not only good clubs. So anytime we are going for the Nations Cup for now, Nigeria, we are going there to win. If you don't win, you come second. If you don't come second, if you win, mission accomplished. If you don't win, okay, they tried. That is, if you come second, they tried. If they come third, okay, let's manage it. Apart from this, it becomes a failure, total failure. In Africa. But it's not a must we must win. But we are going there anytime we are going there. Whether we have the players, yes, we have the players. It's left for the coaches to know how to manage these players. Because one thing we did was, during our time with Keshi, was we were able to manage the players. We were able to think ahead of time in whatever we are doing. In whatever we are doing, we were able to think ahead of the time. And that was why we were able to achieve. So it's left for them to. And in many times, people are talking about coaching courses. I believe in coaching courses. It's good. You must go to coaching courses. But at one point, as a coach, can you continue going to coaching courses until thy kingdom come? So I believed in even the worst written book. You open it from page 1 to the last page. You must see something good. You will take in about 2, 3, 4 things. So when you go to coaching course, you must see 1 or 2 things. But one thing is that as a coach, you have to be innovative. You have to be creative. You must need to have your own concept, football concept. Football ideology. You can call it football ideology or football concept. Then, after having football concept or ideology or innovation, having your innovation, then you can go and borrow from others. Not all, but what will fit into your own concept. Because not everything will fit in. That is what I felt. So because you need to be creative on your own. Some certain training you change them. For example, let me tell you, in 2012, our first competition match we had was against Rwanda in Rwanda. I think it was either Nations Cup qualifier or World Cup qualifier. As I went to sleep, normally I was the one warming the players up. As I went to sleep, I realized that during our time in the national team, our coach Otto Gloria, sometimes they take us on a ball walk. Very strenuous ball walk. You do so many things with ball, running with the ball walk with a space. With the players who play football, no understand, even coaches, ball walk. And it came to my mind that each time we do that ball walk and play like 11 against 11, any game we try to play, it was always very explosive. With the ball, all of us, you see everybody. So that game I decided to, during the warming up, I decided to use ball walk in a very mild way that will not be strenuous to them. That was not the idea of those who are playing in Europe. They have not seen that kind of warming up before. That was in 2012. You see the innovation? You see being creative? So after I introduced it with the ball, they didn't like it. They went and complained to Keshi. Even before we went inside the field, Keshi called me and said, "What did you do?" I said, "I did this." They said, No. The other one where everybody is used to. They just give it to them. Don't do. I said, "Okay." But you know the one I did. I didn't see it anywhere. I just remember as a player. That is what is invoked now in most teams, almost virtually all the clubs. I've seen them because I am a black man talking from Nigeria. I wonder some of them whether they will realize now if they become a coach and they want to warm their players up. Are they going to go back, or they do the other old one, or they do the one that is because what I brought in the table then was not in vogue in any clubs, in any team in Nigeria. I just use it based on my personal experience so that we can use it. So because I felt they are going to play the game when they start the game. So when they use the ball better during the warming up, then they will enter into the game immediately at the blast of the whistle. They will enter into the game because they have used the ball to do. So that was one of my experiences. The coach, I would say, all of them are the greatest coaches. I would say all of them are greatest coaches. Because the other one has what the other one has, the other one don't have. What the other one has. So I would say all of them are the greatest coaches. And you know those days, let me tell you one thing. If you have not played this game this day, now, there's no way you can coach. You can only teach theory, not practical. You could see warming up where I went and struck what I did some 40 something years ago. There's others as coaching. You remember even in primary school when you were taught by those coaches. Because when we were growing up, those who were coaching us then they were all former retired footballers. So if you have not played at least 5 years in Nigerian league or 6 years in Nigerian league or played abroad, so I am urging, I'm begging, I'm pleading to those of us who played both abroad and those who have played up to 5 years or 6 years in Nigerian league who have retired to please come out and go for coaching course and come into coaching, so that to see that if we can change the narratives, that would take our football to the next level. Because, for example, you see, Bob Frijo is regarded as one of the best coaches that have passed through here. But in the first division in what we call Premier League, he can't be a senior coach. He can't be a chief coach in those teams. But he can assist. They have two professional teams, first and second division. He can't be a senior, but he can assist. Because he did not play up to 5 years in those leagues. Or he was not even a player. But he went to coaching course. I'm not trying to undermine anybody. But that is the fact. And that is their rule. I'm not saying we should introduce that rule here. No. This is very hard for me to do. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Because if you had asked me to name about, since I started watching football, even when I play and after I start playing, name about 40, yeah, I can be able to do that. But I want to go back to the goal Odebami scored in the final, the 2 goals he scored. One was a flick. But people only see a goal. That was why I said, if you have not played, it's difficult for you. Because you can't tell the player how to bend his leg. Whether he bent his leg, that was why he missed it. Whether he's supposed to balance like this. If you have not played, you will not know. So Odebami, fantastic goal, that first one. Immediately the ball dropped. Go and watch him again. He didn't take any step. Because if he had wanted to readjust himself, the defenders were taking the ball off him. And that was the game played about 40-something years ago. Sometimes we don't see it these days. And Odebami never played abroad. If you watch the second goal, there was a volley outside the team from the late Aloysius Atebu. The ball bounced outside a little bit inside the team and went up. And the goalkeeper was coming out. Both defenders were on both sides. And Odebami never allowed that ball to touch the ground again. To touch the turf again. He just stretched. Because if he had allowed that ball to drop, those defenders and goalkeeper would have narrowed him up. That is the meaning of that goal. Not because he scored that goal. That's the meaning I'm reading into that goal. And I saw him 2 days ago when we were discussing. I looked at him again. I said, this man was great. Is it Okpala? You're talking about Okpala? As a goalkeeper, as tall as he is, you hardly scored him on the ground. Is it Best Ogedebo? Is it Christian Chukwu? Is it my humble self? And many others during our time. I'm talking about during our time. You have Adokia Masemeka. You have Felix Owolabi. You have the late Tunde Bamidele. These are great. We never traveled abroad. Is it me that was in Nigeria playing free kick? Christian Chukwu was playing also, scoring from free kick, but a different style. His own was short somewhere. My own was curving. The goalkeeper is there, curving the other way, the other ball recovered. Even at National Stadium, there was a time I scored 2 in the African Champions League. I scored 3 goals, 1 from penalty, 2 from free kick. And sometimes we traveled abroad. A team was leading us. In Brazil, one team I scored from free kick. Before 1980 Nations Cup, when we were preparing for 82 World Cup again qualifiers, we traveled to it. A team was leading us. We had a penalty, few minutes to go. There, I just put it there. 2-2. So, before I even travel abroad. So, we have great players. I want to call those. I don't want to call the younger ones now. I'm calling those that played. You have Alosh, you have Mudarawa. You know, you hardly see players that have sharp right foot. But you see people with left-footed players who are always, many of the left-footed players are very sharp. You know, that's why they are very dangerous. But Mudalawa has the right sharp foot. Feet. You know, many. I'm just mentioning the names side, the one side. Is it Leto Keisima? And many others. Great players. Like I told you, we had one of the best assembled team in 1986, in 1986, in 1980, and in 1984. But they were not the best individuals. I come again. We had one of the best assembled teams in 1976 to Canada Olympics, which we later withdrew. In 1976, fantastic team. We had one of 1980 Nations Cup. We had one of 1984 Nations Cup. The best assembled team, but not the best individual players we have ever had. Before I go there, there's something I want to remind you. When we were playing the World Cup qualifier against Ghana, which we played 1-1 and we were out, there was a ball that came from the right, a cross, almost at the 9th minute of the game. And that ball came this way. And Osimhen was backing, Osimhen was waiting for the ball to come. Because I remember that somebody criticized him, a former footballer criticized him, which Osimhen later replied. I believe Osimhen supposed not to have replied, because one, that person is his senior. But I watched that game only that day, and I've not watched it again. But I believe that Osimhen did the right thing. Because Osimhen was ahead of the ball. The ball came to his back. So he had to turn to do what we call bicycle kick or acrobatic kick. You can call it, we call it during our games when we are playing, acrobatic kick or bicycle kick. And he miskicked. Because if he had trapped the ball again, trying to trap the ball, he would now be backing the goal mouth, facing the center circle. And those defenders would have caged him. The only thing he could make a pass back. But if you had watched Osimhen, for example, when Osimhen did that bicycle kick, he was still on the ground. He waked up and saw Moses Simon on his right. And when he saw, I was not there, but from football language, when he saw the Simon, he banged his hand on the flanks. Go and watch that film and did like this. Do you know what this means? He did like this and did like this. He did like this. He did to Moses Simon. You know what? You would have asked me to leave the ball for you, because Moses Simon was the only option apart from the option he took. Moses Simon, you would have called me to leave the ball for you. Then going back to your question, Osimhen is one of the number 9 that play the kind of football I've never seen Nigerian number 9 playing. He's aggressive. He has the strength to compete with trained defenders. He has the speed. He has skill. He has jump body too. Always delight to watch. He always gives his all. Go and watch him in all the games he has played. He never relented. He always give his all. So my prayer for him is not to sustain injury that will keep him off. Once is that not done, with good discipline, want those major injury for now, then with good discipline, because you need discipline. Discipline of behavior, discipline of mind, discipline of knowing when to talk and when not to talk. Ego should be out of it. I am the best, you do have forfeit. The moment you start that, then you're going down the drain. You know the round ladder do not respect anybody. It's human beings, it's we that play the game, you have to respect the ball. If you don't respect the round ladder, it will disgrace you. So I believe he will go places. And he's on track. Before then, somebody, I granted it, after, if they give this African best footballer of the year to anybody, then I'll be so disappointed that it get us, it be like say things for Africa don't they change. But as God may have it, they took the right decision. Could you see any complaint from any quarter? Because he merited it. No comparison with anybody. And I believe the coaches will know how to manage him so that he can give us the best. Managing him, talking with him, speaking with him, inside, outside the pitch. Inside, outside the pitch. Not only him, all Nigerian players. That is how football is being coached these days. And I pray that most of our teams will start having offices in their various clubs where coaches have office. The last time I was in Enugu, I had to establish office in Rangers camp. I don't know whether it's been made use of. Coaching involves, the moment you as a coach, you come out in the morning for training. If there's a training again that evening, until the evening training, you are still thinking, mapping out strategy. After morning training, you go to the office and stay. Organize the things. With other coaches, not only you, the chief coach. I organize. I established there. In the history of Rangers, they never had gym where they, not to become a weightlifter, but there's areas you developed in football. The ligaments of the ankle, the ligaments of the knee, the meniscus of the knee, a certain training, a certain weight you need to carry to make those ligaments and meniscus very firm, so that even when you go 50-50 on the ball with anybody, your ligament or meniscus will not shake, or the ligaments. This is how you get injured. Even when you knock short, you will hear the sound of the ball. When I was playing, if I give you a pass, there's what we call sharp passes. Sharp passes is easy to control, even as much as there's a little hot, it's a little bit faster, but it's easy to control than the one that is bumping slowly. So these are the things we need to do. And we are doing well. And I must not fail to comment that when we were in the national team, all the plans Keshi and we that supported him, his assistant, laid down to NFF. Then the chairman of the NFF, Alhaji Megeri, and Chris Green, and the NFF were able to support us. The idea did not come from them, but they gave us support. If they have not given us support, logistics support, it would have been very difficult. Where do we get money to keep the players in camp? How do we arrange outside matches? So, we need to qualify for the World Cup. If we don't qualify for the World Cup, there will be serious crisis in Nigerian football. The last time we did not qualify, I did everything. And it was going in a deaf ear. You will enter this ear and go away from the other side. I said there was going to be a crisis if we don't qualify. And we missed. You are going to the World Cup for 2 or 3 things, or many things. But let me mention 1 or 2. You are going to the World Cup to let your flag fly of your country. You are going to the World Cup to list your name, because that is the highest competition any player, whether amateur or professional, will get to. if you play in the World Cup, you can come out and say mission accomplished, in as much as you continue playing football. Because you may not have another time. Only few were lucky to go there 1 or 2, 3 times. That is true. The other one is we are going there to play and make money. Make money. You qualify, you get about 15 million for qualification. 15 million cash. If you get to the first round, to the next round, added more money. You get to the quarterfinal, money. You get to the semi-final. These are the things we need to be pursuing. I remember when we were playing for Rangers. When any time money is being promised to us, if you score 2 or 3 goals, then first of all, we try to score 1 first. And whenever we score, we'll be telling the other man, nah, this money no go. We inside the pitch. This money, we go chop am. Look, it remain and time. We go ask for time. Time don't go. Let's make it now. Put 2 or more so that we take the money. Or you tell us if you score these goals, we'll give you this. Each goal is so and so. We try to score, and we've been forming ourselves inside the pitch. It's not a go come. Now, make we see if we can put it in. So that is how football is being played then. So we are going to the World Cup to make money. So let us be organized. We are not playing against a particular team. We are not fighting to go to the World Cup in this group with one particular team. We are playing against all the teams that wants to qualify for World Cup in our group. We don't have any particular team we are struggling with to go to World Cup from our club. We are. Every one of them is a threat. How to manage the players are very important. You may assemble the best talented players, the best. If you don't know how to manage them is where do I play this? What particular formation and strategy system that I'm going to use to be able to get the best out of them, that will see them shine, just like we did with Keshi from quarterfinal. The Ivorians went home. The Ivorians just went home, and everything I said just happened. After the game, they were just lying flat on the pitch, crying. And I said, so I was not prophesizing. And by the time I won the semi-final against Mali, by the time I won the players up, came to the dressing room, I met Keshi. I said, Keshi, today now why are you going to be a go galore? What do you call it? Go galore. Because you will read from the boys. You will see the movement. You will see everything from the boys. But we need to give them the food. What do I mean by food? When I say food, not ordinary food you eat. You know what I mean by food? The exact something, the strategy, the system, the management of the players, what they need as individuals to sell. Because if we don't qualify for the World Cup, there will be serious crisis. And we have the players to take us to the World Cup. And we have the players to take up to quarterfinal, semi-final. And to go to the semi-quarter, if you go to second round today in the World Cup, it's no more news for African teams. Only semi-final is the news because Morocco have gotten to semi-final. And the biggest news you can get is going to the final. So when we qualify, we'll start target. But we first of all have to qualify before you target going to the final.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.